Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson, and we'll be doing it on adjectives. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username, as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English language arts. We're doing grade 2. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of adjectives. All right. So our chapter is adjectives. Our subject is English language arts. We're doing grade 2. And the lessons that we are focusing on under the chapter of adjectives, it is to use sense words. And does the adjective tell you what kind or how many? That is our lessons for today. So does the adjective tell you what kind or how many? And we're going to use since words. All right. So when it comes to adjectives, right? An adjective, it tells us about the noun. We can even say it describes a noun. We can say it modifies the noun. That's an adjective. Either tells us about the noun, it describes the noun, or we can say it modifies the noun. That is an adjective. And when it also comes to adjectives, right? Adjectives, they either tell you what kind or they tell us how many. And we're going to find out what does it mean when adjectives asks us what kind or how many. So we see that an adjective is a word that tells you about a noun. And remember, a noun, it names a person, animal, place, or thing. That is a noun. So an adjective is a word that tells you about that person, about the animal, about the place, about the thing. And some adjectives, right? It answers the question, what kind? And if we were to answer the question, what kind, or ask the question about what kind, and then we can say, all right, so we said some questions that ask, what kind of person, what kind of animal, what kind of place, or what kind of thing, right? And if we look at the example, it says the small baby smiled. The small baby smiled. Baby is our noun, right? Baby is our noun. But now, if we were to ask, what kind of baby is that? Then we can say it is a small baby. So, small tells us about the baby. What kind of baby? It's a small baby. So, what kind of baby? We can say it's a small baby. She carried heavy books. Books is our noun. Books is our noun. But now it says, what kind of books did she carry? She carried heavy books. So heavy is our adjective that tells us about the books. And then we also have adjectives that ask the question, how many? So how many people, how many animals, how many places, how many things? And now it says one baby smiled. Baby is a noun. How many babies smiled? Only one. So one is our adjective. One, because one baby smiled. She carried some books. Books is our noun. But now, if we were to describe or tell us about the books, how many books did she carry? Only some. So, some is our adjective, right? So, we said adjectives is a word that tells you about the noun. And some adjectives, it asks the questions or answer the question, what kind? And also how many. When we ask what kind can be where you're describing it something as in big, small, maybe the color, something that they wear, if it is heavy, if it's light. And then if we were to answer the question, how many, right? And then we answer the question based on if it's one, if it's two, if it's many, if it's more, if it's some. That is now basically when the adjective tells you what kind or it tells you how many. And then we also use since words, right? And if you look at since words, if you look at the word since, then think of your senses, right? Where we can see, we can or look or whatever. We hear, we smell, we taste, touch. Those are our senses. And it says an adjective is a word that tells about a person, animal, place, or thing. And it says some adjectives tells you how a noun looks. It tells you how a noun looks, how it sounds, how it tastes, how it smells, and how it feels. That is where we say we use since words. Because since words, it tells you how a noun looks, how the noun sounds, how the noun tastes, how the noun smells, or how the noun feels. And if we look at a few examples, right, of how we can use since words, the first one says, the sun looks bright. So the sun looks bright. So now the question is, how does the sun look? And then we can say bright. Bright is our adjectives that tells us how the sun looks. The next one says, the drum sounds loud. How does the drum sound? We can say it is loud or it is soft. It depends on the sound. These cookies taste sweet. How does it taste? They are sweet. So the cookies are described as they are tasting sweet. The air smells fresh. How does the air smell? It is fresh. And my hair feels soft. How does my hair feel? It is soft. Yeah, they are using the five senses. And the five senses to tell us how the noun either looks, how the noun either smells, how the noun sounds, how it tastes, or how it feels. Yes. So we can either say something feels soft, something feels hard, right? So yes, well done. All right, so now we're going to a+students.ca, and we're going to use sense words, and we're going to say, does the adjective tell us what kind or how many? And before we go to a+students.ca, oopsie, we said an adjective is a word that tells you about a noun. So an adjective is a word that tells you about the noun. And an adjective, right, it tells you about a person, an animal, a place, or a thing. We first going to use sense words. And when we use sense words, right, remember we said that an adjective is a word that tells you about a person, about an animal, place, or thing. We can even say comfortable. We can maybe say something feels comfortable, right? That is how we can maybe use the comfortable. So, yes, comfortable is correct. And we said when it comes to senses, right? We said some of our adjective tells us how a noun looks, sounds, tastes, smells, or feels. All right. And now, if we look at our sentence, we're going to complete the sentence with the best adjective. So we're going to complete our sentence with the best adjective. And it says, Robin got a new bicycle for her birthday this year. So Robin got a new bicycle for her birthday this year. So we don't need to show or say how this bicycle looks. This new one. We're describing it based on looks. And we will describe it based on looks or cleanliness or something. And then we can say Raman got a shiny new bicycle for her birthday this year. Shiny. If we look at the next one, it says we both fit in that chair. Is it a narrow chair, small chair, wide chair, big chair? And we can say we both fit in that. How big is the chair? We're describing it wide chair because it's a wide or big chair. All right. So now let's go to our test where we are going to use sense words. And it says the desk looks too. Do we say the desk looks too tasty? Like, can we taste a desk? Or do we say the desk looks too large to fit in the corner? What is the correct option? Option one, the desk looks too tasty. Option one. Or option two, the desk looks too large to fit in that corner. Which one is correct? So, do we say a desk is tasty? Can we taste a desk? Or do we say the desk is too large in size? All right. And yes, we will choose option two. And we will say that the desk is too large to fit in that corner. All right. Large is correct. Do we say the silver road made the car bounce up and down? Or do we say the bumpy road made the car bounce up and down? Which one is correct? Option one, the silver road, or option two, the bumpy road made the car bounce up and down. So which one is the correct option? Do we say the silver road, option one, or do we say the bumpy road, option two? And if we were to choose the correct option, we will say the bumpy road. So well done. Bumpy is correct. So the bumpy road made the car bounce up and down. Well done. The next one says, my cup of soup. My cup of soup looks too full, or the cup of soup looks too silent. What is the correct option? Option one, the soup looks too full, or option two, the soup is too tired, too silent. Which one is correct? So do we say the cup of soup looks full or it looks too silent? Which one is correct? Too full or too tired? Too silent? And if we were to choose the correct option, we can say that the cup is too full. Remember, your cup can be full, but it's not like how coffee talks to us or soup talks to us, right? So well done. Full is correct. All right. It says a line of, do we say a line of empty ants walked across the picnic blanket? Or do we say a line of tiny ants walked across the picnic blanket? Sorry. Which one is correct? The line of empty ants walked across the picnic blanket? Or do we say a line of tiny ants walked across the picnic blanket? And if we were to choose the correct option, we will say a line of tiny ants. Beautiful. Yes, well done. Tiny is correct. So a line of tiny ants walked across the picnic blanket. So tiny is correct. Well done. All right. So we say don't drink that. Do we say don't drink that noisy milk? Option one. Or do we say don't drink that sour milk? Option two. We're going based on taste. So don't drink that noisy milk. Or do we say don't drink that sour milk? Which one is correct? So noisy or sour. And if we were to choose the correct option, we will say, don't drink that sour milk. Because remember, we're going based on taste. So well done. Sour is correct. Milk cannot be noisy. So sour is correct. Let's do the last one. The soup is quite salty. Option one, or do we say the soup is quite bouncy? Option two. Which one is correct? The soup is quite salty. Option one, or bouncy? Option two. So the soup is quite salty. Option one, or do we say it is quite bouncy? Option two. Which one is correct? And if we were to choose the correct option, then yes, we can say that the soup is quite salty. So well done. Salty is correct. All right. And the last one says, wow, those flowers smell. Those flowers smell. Do we say the flowers smell? Option one, wonderful. So, wow, those flowers smell. How does it smell? Does it smell wonderful or does it smell furry? So, we need to say how the flowers smell. All right. And we can say, wow, those flowers smell wonderful. So, well done. Wonderful is correct. All right. Now we're going to, does the adjective tell you what kind or does it tell you how many? And remember, we said an adjective, it tells you about the noun, it tells you about the person, animal, place, or thing. All right. So we said that when it comes to adjective, telling you like on asking the questions of what kind and how many. Remember when it comes to what kind, then it's almost like we are describing it in size, in color, in weight, and so on. Whereas how many, it's like, is it one? Is it some? Is it many? Is it, that is how many. All right. If we look at the sentence, right, we're going to look at the sentence and then we are going to say if it tells us what kind or if it tells us how many. It says Dana played a fun game. Does it tell us what kind or how many? All right. And if we look at the sentence, Dana played a fun game. All right. And remember, we said what kind is like, you know, describing the person. How many describes the things? How many things? So many, less, more. All right. And now we're going to a test where we're going to say what kind. Does the adjective tell us what kind or how many? It says, look at the adjective in bold. Does it tell you what kind or does it tell you how many? It says he has brown skates. Does it tell us what kind of skates he has or how many skates he has? Option two. And we can say, if we say he has brown skates, then let's ask what kind of skates he has. So, what kind? The next one says, we saw wild animals. You look at the word wild. Does it tell us what kind of animals? Or option two, does it tell us how many animals? Wild. Yes. And if we were to say the wild animals, then what wild animals tells us what kind? Well done. What kind is correct? Ruth has a big secret. Big secret. Does that tell us what kind or does it tell us what how many? Big secret. Does it tell us what kind of secret or how many secrets she's keeping? And then we can say shinni. That means what kind, because it is a big secret. Cole has blue eyes. Cole has blue eyes. Is that option one, what kind of eyes Cole has? Or option two, how many eyes Cole have? Which one is correct? Option one, what kind of eyes? Or option two, how many eyes? So does it tell us what kind of eyes or how many eyes? And if we were to say what kind of eyes, then we can say what kind. Blue eyes is what kind. All right, the last one says Lindsay will send 7 letters. 7. Does that tell us what kind of letters she's sending or how many letters she's sending? So 7 letters, is that what kind of letters or how many letters? And then we can say 7 letters tells us how many letters she sent. Well done. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on adjectives. We said adjectives, it tells us about the noun, tells us about the person, animal, place, or thing, right? And then some of our adjective tells us what kind, some of the adjective tells us how many. And then we can also use sense words, right? When it comes to adjectives to tell us how something looks, how something tastes, how something feels, um, how it feels, how it, oh, there's basically the 5 senses, right? So this is now the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade twos, for joining the class. You should have a good day further. So till next time, goodbye.